Come on. Chop, chop.
Hit that. What's his face? Mo.
Hit that. Don't forget you gotta get under there. Yeah, there you go. That's how you got. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you gotta get every little phalange. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get up inside the palms. Ain't no telling what's in there. Yeah, getting all the cracks and crevices. There it is. Wash your hands. There it is. There you go. That's how you fight the virus. Yeah.
Welcome to the village, motherfuckers.
What's
It's your
happening?
boy Benny Hunnits. Of course, I'm with my brother. The funk is real.
good,
We done
baby?
washed our hands. Hey,
Elbow
dab.
pump.
That's
There
right.
it is.
It's Corona season, baby. Of course, it's what the whole world's dealing with. So damn it, that's what we talking about, bro.
It's just getting out of hand, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's getting out of hand. I just found out we had to cancel the trip to Colombia, bachelor party.
Damn. I know, y'all. You've been planning that for 3 months now.
Man, and you
All
know,
the headaches. You
all
was
the headaches.
stressed.
Bro, you seen me. You
I
seen what
seen
I
you.
go through. When
I
you
sit
got
right next to you.
when you got to try to get 24 niggas to get money and just organize that. I know everybody's like 24. What the? Yeah, it's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a
So
bachelor
you already
fucking
know
soiree.
it's a lot going on just dealing with that. So we were supposed to go to Medellin.
Yeah.
We were supposed to hit Cartagena right after.
Yeah.
You know, we had the madness all planned out.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Colombia closed the borders. They said, no, you can't get in. All of y'all. Stay your sick asses in America.
Fuck, bro. Damn, that sucks because that was lit. I already knew. Like, I was with you picking an Airbnb and all that. That shit looked like y'all was finna have a blast.
Oh, we had some good plans, man. We had a whole hotel rented out. We had a little beach house rented out, cartel style. It said it on the description, cartel getaway.
Yeah.
It came with AKs,
Yeah, I saw that guns and shit.
all of that shit.
Damn.
I wish a Corona would come up, but I spraying all of that
You
shit.
thought.
man.
Now it's over.
Laced with Lysol bullets.
Yeah, man. Now Corona done. I told y'all. I've been telling y'all for a couple weeks. Hide your kids, hide his wife. Right now, it's Corona killing everybody out here.
First of all, nigga, who had Corona?
All right, so I must confess, in my loneliness. All right, so I had coronavirus, y'all. I did.
Hold
but
on, I'm compromised.
no, you good. Here's the crazy part. This is what the world needs to know, right? So coronavirus, aka, well, I should say aka coronavirus, is COVID-19 is the actual medical name for the shit. It's been going around since November at least, right? It could have been even before. China's been hiding it. And one of the biggest trade partners with China and Africa especially, Ethiopia. And there was a big wave of us, actually. It wasn't just me. It was a lot of us out there who ended up getting sick, like very, very, very sick, and not knowing really what was going on. We thought we had the flu or whatever the case may be. And now when you look back and look at it and think about it, you get all the symptoms. We all had fucking coronavirus, and we didn't know. Yeah, I had the super high fever, the runny nose, the aches, like every symptom that they had on there, and I'm talking about it was bad.
Shortness of breath.
Sure, I couldn't breathe. I could barely talk, let alone breathe. Yeah, and it was a lot of us out there who had that shit, and it's crazy because I just took the natural idea of self-quarantine. I just thought this is probably the best thing to do is to not be out and about, and luckily my cousin, uncle, like second cousin, had me out in his he's got a really nice crib out there, and had my own little corner of the place. And I was just in there, man, and everybody thought I was tripping because I wasn't going out and all that shit. And I was telling people I'm sick as a dog. There's a lot of people. We had a little diaspora group chat on Instagram and shit like that. And a lot of people was on there, and I was telling them, yo, I'm sick, I can't. They was begging me to come out. Little did they know, they was begging me to come out there and give them the corona.
Damn, so you done spread everyday people with Corona.
No, I got it right after everything.
So the next event.
Yeah, I literally, the day after that shit, I started getting this shit. So I may have had it before. I don't know. Because my cousin so I drove down to Houston and I flew out of Houston to go to Ethiopia. My cousin told me the day I left, he was sick.
Oh, shit.
And he was sick for the 2 weeks. No, I might have got it from him. Because remember, you don't start feeling the symptoms for a little while. A lot of people are asymptomatic. So we don't know who gave it to who, right? Anybody who's been traveling since October or November, high chances if you had it. 80% of the people who have it are asymptomatic, meaning you're not even going to show symptoms. You probably never know, but you carry the virus. You see what I'm saying? So it's many people who've had it and been spreading it and not knowing it, right? And then you get some people who the symptoms start kicking in, and they kick in late, right? It's not like a normal, like Ebola or stuff like that, which is they're able to kill it because as soon as you get it, you start showing symptoms, and then boom, they're able to like quarantine you, blah, blah, blah. This thing you can hold for a week, 2 weeks, and then you start showing symptoms. You know what I'm saying? Long story short, I had it. It was bad. But at the same time, like, it wasn't worse than anything else that you had. Like, if you've been through a bad flu or bronchitis or anything like that, that's kind of what it was like. I just didn't know because I was like, this is like a couple different things I've had combined. Like, it felt like a flu. It felt like bronchitis. It felt like a lot of different things. But come to find out, COVID-19 is what I had, which is why lately being around a lot of people, I haven't been getting sick, is because I built up my immunities to it. So I'm safe.
Damn. So once you get it, you can't get it again, I'm assuming.
That's the idea. I mean, naturally, normally with your body, once you get something, even if you get it again, it won't be as severe because your body has built up immunities to, to it. So
y'all was just out there, hey, how you doing? And y'all be all that kissing.
Bro, you don't
shit.
understand. It's just a lot of people. Like, I'm hoping there's a lot of people who were out there that listen to this. I've put it on my Twitter.
Yeah.
A lot of us were sick. Bro.
Now they know where they got it from.
They're not even thinking about it because
It's
the
like
media
an
lets
STD
you.
almost. It's like, who was I around? Oh, Benny, motherfucker gave me that shit when I was here.
Look, I don't know who I got it from, who I gave it to, or vice versa. We really don't know.
So you got it from your cousin.
I may have got it from my cousin, and then when I got out there was a bunch of people who were feeling sick. Who knows who they got it from? We're all, you know what I'm saying, smoking hookah together. We're all, so boom, that shit's a wildfire, bro. We were partying together, drinking. Ain't no telling. Just
big cesspool of
Corona, bro. And that's really how the world has been because, mind you, it's been going on for months before we even heard about it. I've just dropped it in my family group chat. All my sisters, my cousins were all like, whoa, I was sick. And then they started to realize, damn, like, I think I already had it because we were all experiencing from between November to now crazy ass flus.
Yeah.
And then they say it's like flu season or whatever, so you kind of think it's already, but that's not what it is. They went to the doctor. The doctor's like, oh, you have type A and type B flu. Or, you have this and this. Like, really, they don't know what the fuck is really going on. So the truth of the matter is that if you've been sick and really sick since like November to now, it's a high likelihood that you already had coronavirus or you had COVID-19 and you've unfortunately probably already passed it on to somebody around you. And like it's way more saturated than we're led to believe, right? Not to mention the stories that we know from, and we're hearing from nurses and stuff who are speaking in confidentiality, who are around us, either come to our jobs, and tell us, oh yeah, our hospital has like 5,000 confirmed cases, but we can't really tell anybody. Like it's way, way, way more out there.
And they coming to us. That's the worst part.
It's like, bitch, you knew you had the shit.
Why you coming up in here telling us this shit?
Like you ain't.
I've been around 5,000 motherfuckers who got that shit. It's like, if I had to do the math, you might got it.
Odds are your ass got it on your hands, your scrubs, your hair. It's somewhere.
And now we at it.
Yeah.
And now I'm walking around with the corona, just waiting for the next 2 weeks. Because crazy thing is, we still going to work.
Yeah, we are.
Which is crazy because the whole city, at least, well, Dallas has finally shut down. We've seen a lot of other cities in the U.S. shut down. The L.A.'s, Seattle's. Cities. Yeah, a lot of major cities shutting down. Philly, they say they're not even arresting anybody.
They said, fuck it, rob the bank.
Rob it. We'll deal with you later.
Gonna catch up to your ass, bro. We're not doing it right now.
That's crazy.
For real, bro. It's nuts, dog. I don't know what to tell people other than wash your hands. The crazy part is, another thing is, like, we should have been washing our hands, right?
Yeah.
It's funny that it takes something like this to get the Director General of the World Health Organization, who happens to be a Habesha, Ethiopian, shout out Dr. Tedros, my man, to make a tutorial telling people how to wash their fucking hands. We've been washing our hands your whole life. You should have been. You were taught in elementary school, I would assume, how to wash your hands. But it takes now for people to actually keep your hands clean, which is interesting. And I've talked about this before. Like, I'm weird about my hands. Like, even when I'm eating in Jeddah, I wash my hands like while I'm eating, or if I'm eating wings, I usually have the highest stack of napkins. I always go wash my hands because I'm weird about that feeling of having dirty hands.
Something on there.
And now it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Everybody should be washing their hands like this because, to be honest, we can all pass shit to each other all the time.
Yeah.
The difference is that corona is highly, highly contagious.
And because of that, you have to contain it.
Yeah.
So what happens? Everybody shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
Now we see restaurants, can't go to no restaurants, can't go to the bars. You got people freaking out, can't go to the hookah lounges. So hopefully they bought all their hookah.
Yeah.
People buying up all the liquor right now.
All the fiends.
People clearing out store shelves of toilet paper and Lysol and disinfectant wipes. Like it's like people are panicking almost. It's like
it's not almost. These motherfuckers is panicking. And to be honest, none of that shit's gonna help, right?
None.
Like,
what are you gonna do with 100 rolls of toilet paper?
First of all, if you buy that much damn toilet paper, there is no way you can use all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I bought like an 18 pack.
That's all you need, bro. That's gonna last you about 4 months.
That's dog. I'm talking about. I didn't buy it. I bought it at the beginning of the year, and I'm still like barely halfway through the shit. It's like
the average person uses 4 rolls a month.
Right. So, and I'm thinking like, all right, cool. So you do this. Let's say you have a family or whatever. They're saying quarantines at most would be 2 weeks. So like, what are we doing? Why are we like, and you know what's worse about the shit? I mean, the bars and all that stuff, I kind of get it, right? These are mass conglomerates of people in a small confined space. What sucks is that those businesses are not going to be able to recover from this shit, because when you go into a business and your projections and how you cost everything and all that, it's with this overall idea that you're going to make money over time. So when you have this blob of time where you're not making money, you're going to be pretty screwed as a business, right? Because then what? How are you going to pay all those bills? How are you going to catch up on rent? And then there's a domino effect. And this is something I actually talked about a while back as far as the bubble bursting on the market, which is something we'll get on later. With all these businesses shutting down and all this stuff shutting down, people are losing employment. People have jobs. They're not making money from their jobs. If their company has to pay them, then the company is going to be strained. So then, all right, cool. You pay people for a month or two while this whole shit's going on. But then the whole company might shut down. And then what? So this is actually going to have a huge ripple effect on the whole shit. I'm actually, who's legally shut down, right? It's bars,
restaurants, all the public facilities as far as like
gyms, stuff like that,
courts, anything with a public gathering, right?
It's all shut down.
It's all shut down. Pretty much any event that was supposed to happen, whether it was like a convention, a concert, party, whatever the case is. If it's got more than, I think they're saying at least 50, depends in what city. Some say 50, some say 250. Even churches, mosques, religious gathering places, all of this stuff has been shut down. So people can't even do those type of things. So they pretty much just want you to be quarantined in your house for the next couple of weeks until they can start getting things under control, which in fact, like you said, it's not going to get under control either way. And luckily, you're seeing a big response right now. We're seeing a response from the government, because in crisis like this, we look towards the government. Hey, what's going to happen? What are we going to have to do? You done shut down everything. What about, what are we going to do to kind of contain this and fight it?
And it's funny because, not to get political and criticize a certain element of the populace, but everybody wants to talk about having a smaller government and all this other shit. But then when shit like this happens, those same motherfuckers are now turning to the government and saying, hey, what are we going to do? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is why big government kind of makes sense, especially in a fucking country that has 300 million people plus, So up to now, President Trump has been basically slashing all these huge ass government facilities, not just physical facilities, but mechanisms, organizations like the CDC, right, Center of Disease Control, and slashing funding for all these people. Well, in times like this is the opportune time that it would have been great to have the CDC already armed to the TU as far as money and everything like that, you have a CIA. Central Intelligence is more than just, going out and murking people. Like, their idea should be to have information gathering all around the world. We actually should have been known this
They've
shit was
probably
coming.
been known about this.
And Trump is just, I can tell you why he didn't say shit, in my opinion at least, because he knew what was going to happen with the market, which is exactly what's fucking happening anyway. So the difference would have been, at least the market crash. There's no way to escape a market crash, right? It's inevitable, especially when you have a market that surged beyond what it's ever been before. It's just a matter of time. The question is, what is going to bring it down? In this case, it was coronavirus, right? So he tried to postpone it as long as he could, but now it's already kaput, right? It's already fucked, and
we're falling into a recession.
We're gonna fall into a recession, but like, there was no. The difference is whether he would have acknowledged it a month ago versus now, or 2 months ago, or had the CIA really been on their shit and caught it way earlier. The difference is that we'd have been way more prepared. We'd had way more testing kits. We would have been like, the travel and all that would have been monitored way before. This shit would have been contained a lot better. Now we're kind of just assed out because the shit's already hit the fan. I don't care what nobody says. To be honest, this whole quarantine shit is too late. You know what I'm saying? So all you're going to do is just be around people, and if they have it, you're going to get it, and if they don't have it, it's literally just like the luck of the draw. Whoever has it in their body and whoever doesn't, right? And so this shit don't make no sense. Like, none of the approach to what they've done right now makes sense. The only thing that could possibly make sense now, which is ironic because Andrew Yang, shout out Yang Gang, which I've been on, was already saying that we needed a UBI, a universal basic income, for shit like this. Not just like this, but just in general, because life is unpredictable, things happen in the world, and people need to have at least a baseline of money coming in on top of whatever they're doing for work, so that they could either be saving it for a rainy day, or in this case, using it for like an underlying foundation for money. And so now they're talking about that, giving people a stimulus of $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And it's funny because Mitt Romney, who's a Republican, was probably the biggest Republican name to like say that as of late. It was like, yo, we should probably be doing this shit. Like, we need to be shelling out money to these motherfuckers because they sitting at home, they ain't got no work. What are we gonna do? And so hopefully that becomes a thing. But the ripple effects of this whole thing are crazy, and especially on the market. The good news is that if anybody has never been invested before, this is probably the best time to get in, right? Not even right now, but even over the next month or so, this shit's going to continue to drop. And as it continues to drop, the market is going to have to rebound. It's in the United States of America. They're not just going to, all right, we're all dead or the market's over. It's going to rebound. So anybody who hadn't had the opportunity or the cash to invest over the last 10 years, this is your chance to get in. If you know what you're doing, investing in certain ways, there are many different mechanisms for investment. You can holla at me at Benny Hundreds if you just want basic understanding. I can't give you advice legally as to say this is what you should do, but I can give you understanding of the market, and it's a great time to buy. It's a fantastic time to buy. Yeah, bro. Shit, the market ain't been under 20,000 since Obama. I mean, he picked it back up and went from 7 to 17 real quick. And this is like the Dow Jones that I'm referring to, just like an overall like industrial average to show where we're at. But 29 was absurd, and I'm actually pissed at myself because I knew it was gonna crash, and I didn't like go like buy a bunch of inverse stuff.
Yeah, man, it's tough, and because again, like, it's a risk. Even though you know it, you just gotta jump in it. Yeah, you know it's a risk either way. Yeah, it's either gonna continue to go down a little more, but you know it's gonna go back up at some point.
Yeah, and it's like vice versa. It's like, are you bearish, which is like believing it's gonna go down, or bullish, believing it's gonna go up? And or if you're just masterful at it, you've taken your 10,000 hours to learn it, you'll be able to go either way. And those are motherfuckers who are making a killing.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of millionaires coming out of this, just like the last recession hit. As everything crashes and crumbles down, there's always millionaires that come out of the rumbles. You know what I mean?
Big facts.
All the time. And thousands of them.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people started their fortune based off of the last recession.
Yeah, so, I'm definitely all in. I'm about
Yeah.
to be buying a bunch of options and a bunch
This is
of different
definitely
things
the time.
to
It's
get it.
definitely the time. We're gonna get with it and try to see if we can come up with a milli.
Bro.
Yeah,
Then
that's
I'm
it.
back home to Addis Ababa. I'm going home. I'm building, and I'm leaving on the bottom floor. Like, can I have my monthly rent, please? I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like, all things lead back home, bro. At least for me.
Right.
So,
But man, everything's been crazy, and it's been. See, luckily, you and I, we still have to go to work because I don't know, people still want to buy cars,
Yeah.
right? Even though we know that's not the case.
yeah, right.
But essentially, we after you get off, man, there's nothing to watch. There's nothing to do for us guys. It's like, damn, sports is gone. I'm over here watching damn ESPN Classic. They over here showing the best of LeBron dunks,
Bro.
the best of Kyrie crossovers.
That's
I'm
all
like-
I've seen.
I'm
dog.
like, Jesus, man. I get
Shout
it.
out to the NFL for giving us something because we got free agency and they can do that shit from home over the computer, over the
Straight
phone.
up.
But yeah, man, sports is over with basically. Like they shut down every fucking thing. This is actually like really, really, really crazy.
Yeah, niggas have to literally entertain themselves. There's people fucking doing 3-point contests with their trash bins at home right now.
Bro, they shut down. Who was first, right? The NBA was the first to completely shut down. I think the NCAA was the
NCAA
basketball.
said they said they were going to do where it was going to be in front of nobody. They were just going to perform in front of nobody, and then they just said no. After the NBA shut it down, then they shut down.
Yeah, so
And
they
then baseball
said they'll
shut
play in
down.
front of nobody. Golden State was the first team in the NBA that was like, we're going to do that too. And then Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz was sick. They tested him. He tested positive. And then considering that he had just came from another game, the NBA was like, yo, this is about to get crazy.
The shit,
They
he was
shut
at
it
a
down.
game.
Yeah, he was at a game, and then they didn't send him out there, and then that's when somebody ran out to the refs right before tip-off of their game.
Yeah.
So technically the last game played up to now of the league was the Dallas Mavericks game.
Yeah, so we're technically the champions right now.
No, but
Yeah. No, we technically we won the last game in the NBA, so we're the champions right now. If worst case scenario, the NBA says, hey, I think we're just going to cancel the rest of the season, playoffs, everything included, the Mavs are the champions. Screw your records.
Okay.
Screw the Buck records. We don't care.
because
We're
technically
champs.
that would be the Milwaukee Bucks,
It'd be
which
the
is
Bucks.
trash.
But
trash.
But if anything, I think it might come out to where they're gonna just go directly into the playoffs because you got 19 games left either way.
Yeah, they're gonna probably go directly in, and then they'll probably do like those reduced games, like they used to be, those reduced series, like 3-5-7 instead of
Yeah.
7-7-7. So 3-5-7 meaning the first round will be 3 games, second round will be 5 games, and then the last round will be 7.
Either way, it's gonna be a great playoffs because these guys are gonna come back after all this time away just to relax, heal up, and just come back in full strength. It's gonna be fucking amazing playoffs, which I'm looking forward to.
Except for the fact that a lot of them is sick. The Nets just came down with the fact that 4 players are sick, including Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's out anyway, but there's a possibility that he may be able to come back for the playoffs because it'll be over a year since his injury.
But he got the Rona, so
He got that Rona.
that's another problem. That's the other issue of why the league would just extend this thing out even further. They're talking about till June because you got all these people popping up with the Rona, and they say LeBron was with Durant just a few days beforehand.
Nah, if LeBron get it, then they shutting it
They
down for
shut
sure.
everything down,
Yeah,
dog.
bro. There's no way if the King get it, because there's no NBA without LeBron right now.
Yeah, because we already know that's the favorites right now for the title. So
Yeah.
if they can't really get out there, and it's LeBron's league at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
facts.
they might as well just call it that.
That's
So-
crazy. I think that the NBA set a good example, though. Like, as always, they're probably the best PR group as far as all the sports. They do the best with public relations and thinking ahead. And so they shut it down. Once they shut it down, the NCAA shut down all their stuff. And weird because of how the bureaucracy works in college. The conferences are separate from the actual, like, overarching NCAA. So the conferences were still like, all right, great, but we're still going to play our championship. And then eventually they shut it down too. So
Yeah, because once they canceled March Madness, it was a wrap. What's the point of playing?
yeah, which is so crazy. So
So it
Shout
sucks
out-
for a lot of seniors.
yeah, it sucks for them. It sucks for seniors in high school, right? Because I mean, to some extent it doesn't suck. 'Cause-
Seniors in high schools.
Yeah, because they don't get their prom, they don't get their graduation.
Oh, you're talking about the school shutdown, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Okay, for college, it's like, yeah, you don't get senior day and all that, but cool. So college, they're still gonna finish their school because it's college. They have mechanisms for online, so they're gonna do everything. Like the high school kids, they're shutting down entire districts. They're ending the school year. They don't have the capacity to do all these online classes, so they're like, fuck it. Your school district, Richardson School District, just said everybody passes, right? So it doesn't matter what the fuck you had. Some people hit a lick. They're like, all right,
super
cool.
lick.
You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it, you're on to the next grade.
Yeah, I would have loved that if I was in high school.
What? You went from spring break to summer break? Like, your spring break extended all the way through to next year?
Bruh, you literally out of school from March until possibly August, September.
Yeah, bro. That's a lot. 6 months. Holy smokes.
But you know, they also say crime has been going up because of this.
Of course.
All this shit that's happening, people panicking, such and such. Even in Dallas alone, I think there's been a spike of like 19% in crime. And usually they don't see that spike until the summertime. So it's kind of starting early because of all these schools not going, schools shutting down, people not being able to go to work. All this thing really, it's always,
and panic tends to always drive crime, right?
Yeah.
People start to tripping, they start doing dumbass shit. You know, every one of these super Walmart massive raids have probably resulted in at least 1 or 2 arrests, right? So it's pretty crazy, man. But everybody needs to go ahead and calm the fuck down. The truth of the matter is, going forward, not to downplay this, but we gonna be okay. As somebody who came down with the sickness, it sucks if you're even symptomatic. But it's nothing worse than probably something you've already experienced, right? Just be healthy, do what you're supposed to do when you're sick, stay away from people, stay warm. I just basically sweated it out and slept it out and took a lot of ibuprofen, which helped for the pain relief. Just don't act like you ain't got shit, and if you got shit, stay away from people. That's like the main thing, you know. But this thing has affected way more than just like your own personal life and then sports. It's all the way up to like the elections, which is going to be like our next president of the fucking United States, right? So apparently the Democratic National Committee decided that it'd still be a good idea for us to go ahead and keep voting. So in Super Tuesday, which would have been the third Super Tuesday of the year, which was, what's today? Wednesday. So yesterday, they still held their primary voting and they held the last bit of the voting. And Bernie really was in a lose-lose situation, in my opinion, because if he would have gained a bunch of those states, I feel like the DNC would have been like, well, to be quite honest, you're not, that was invalid. We're going to have to do it again. But in this case, Biden won a bunch. He actually took off as far as like his lead. So
he's got a significant lead right now.
More than likely, Biden's going to be the Democratic nominee.
I'm not too excited about that, but hey.
Yeah, whoever the fuck gets this, getting my vote.
Yes, at this point, yeah.
The thing is that there was talks about who won the debate, and point for point, you can say some can argue that Bernie won, some can argue that Biden won, but I think the biggest trump card, pun intended, that he pulled was the fact that he said he's going to have a female VP, like no matter what. So I think that kind of like he kind of won the whole shit by saying
they over there just playing chess. It don't even matter what the hell he want to do. It's just all about playing chess. It's like, oh, by the way, just to kind of give me a little edge, my running mate will be a woman. Now you got the women voters because he was losing the women's voters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing is, he asked, that invoked the question to Bernie, okay, can you guarantee your nominee is going to be a woman? And which is a little bit more difficult to him, not to like make an excuse for him, but he's a super progressive, right? He's like far left. So his pickings as to who he could pick is a lot smaller than Biden. Not only do they have to be a woman, but they need to be qualified, right? Biden has a lot to choose from. He had Klobuchar. He had obviously Kamala Harris. He has a lot of women who were already themselves trying to be presidential nominees. So, he has a pool already. mass progressive woman other than Elizabeth Warren who's still pretty sour about how shit went for her, and she's may have backed out, but she hasn't endorsed Bernie to this day. So I mean, and Bernie being honest, which is the main thing I like about him, is he's not one of these like slimy politicians. He tends to keep it a buck. Bernie says, all right, well, I mean, my goal is to pick a progressive, so I would love for it to be a woman, but I can't just say it's going to be a woman for the sake of it being a woman, and then somebody who's not a progressive is going to be my VP. Like, you know, like, there's nuance to fucking answers to questions, in my opinion, and so I'm glad that he answered that correctly.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, whoever they choose, probably going to be sorry anyways, like the rest of the politicians, because we know they all sorry, man. At the end of the day, you just got to pick the person who's got the best intentions, right? So even if he does, because for instance, if he picks Kamala Harris, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, didn't you just blatantly, like in a debate and all of this other thing, refer to Biden as a racist? And I was like, what you stood on, he's a racist. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, vote for this guy. He's a great guy. It's like, what?
She already endorsed him, so that she's already, yeah. That's
you've called him this all the way up until this point, but now you're saying, oh yeah, I'm standing behind him. He'll be a best fit for our country. It's like, what? You just told me he was a racist. Now my thing is like, now I don't know. Now I can't trust anything you tell me, because now you was telling me he a racist, right? Now I'm looking at it as a voter, right? Or not even a voter, somebody on the outside. If I was a Kamala Harris, supporter, right?
Yeah.
I was behind you. I said, "Damn, all right, sister, we gonna make it to the White House, right?" And then, unfortunately, didn't make it too far in the race, had to drop out. It's all cool. We still love you. And then all of a sudden, I'm riding with you in that whole moment where, yeah, Biden's a racist. Oh yeah, it's this person. Yeah, they stupid. Yeah, whatever. Cool. Now this time comes up, and now you telling me, hey, my supporter, remember that guy over there? He's great. We should vote for him. But hey, Miss Harris, didn't you? I thought he was a racist. Oh no, don't worry. No, he's good. I was just overreacting. I didn't really mean he was racist. But you said he voted against this and voted for this, and he was. What? I'm confusion.
Yeah,
I'm confusion, Kamala. That's just how I look at it. Maybe because politician words are very fickle nowadays. But when really their words should matter, and then sometimes it's like, well, they go back on so many things they say, even when they get called out on shit all the time.
Yeah.
Well, you voted for this in the past. You said this in the past. Well, you know what? I've changed since then. Well, bitch, you've only said it like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
How much has changed in like
what's
months?
funny is I don't think that her or anybody else who's endorsing him is saying this is the best person to be the president of the United States.
Isn't that what an endorsement is?
An endorsement is a this versus that.
Yeah.
So they're endorsing him to say
he's our best option
versus Trump.
Yeah. So he's our best option
versus Trump. There's nuance. Yeah. There's nuance. It's not like she's saying, hey, I think Biden should be your president, because she ran for president. I think that's already a given. Like, but y'all already through your votes and through the polls already said y'all weren't going to pick me. So from what's left, if the goal is to get Trump out of office, then I'm saying that I believe Biden has a better chance of getting him out of office than Bernie. I feel like that's the idea. I feel like that's what people should really think about when they see these endorsements. Because you're right, not to take anything away from you saying, you're right. It's like you literally were just going against this person. Yeah. But the reality of it is that's how it always is going to be. When you have a primary where you have a bunch of contestants that are going after that person, or even if it's just two, right? Even if the whole time it was just Biden and Bernie, they're going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and they're going to be tearing each other down. But as soon as one of them wins, the other person has to fall in line and endorse them. That's like good sportsmanship, if you will, right? The question is more so like, why not endorse Bernie than Biden? And that's because all of those people are establishment people, right? Those are all people who are already in the game, who feel like this person who is a part of the Democratic National Party, part of the Democratic Party, has been a Democrat for years. All right, cool. This is who we want in, versus somebody like Bernie, who is so far left and has been an independent. Is still technically an independent. He's just running on the Democratic ticket because they have a whole, war chest behind them, right? I just like to have clarity. I don't disagree with you that the shit's kind of weak for someone to be against them and then all of a sudden be for them. But that is the nature of how elections work.
Yeah.
So,
You just go with the lesser evil.
yeah, and I think for her and for everyone else, the other thing to realize is that they're all trying to get positions.
Yeah.
So they know, hey, if I endorse him, if I throw my hat in the ring for him, I throw my political weight
That's
behind
all
him.
it is.
When they become president, maybe I'm
You're in line.
VP, or in her case, maybe she's attorney general. Ooh,
Yeah.
I just thought about that one, like right now as we're talking about it. Even if she doesn't get the VP, if she's attorney general, she's the top cop. She's the motherfucking top lawyer in the country.
Yeah.
Maybe that can help them change laws. Maybe, you see what I'm saying? If Klobuchar is his VP, or if he's really a wild one, and if he picks Warren as his VP, which I don't know how that could work out, but maybe he does, and then now you've got a balanced Democratic ticket between
I think he's gonna go Kamala just because.
black woman.
Yeah, black woman.
Yeah.
I think he's like, you know what? I was VP when we had the first black president. Now, as the president, we're gonna have the first black VP. We're gonna have the first woman.
Black woman, yeah.
First woman, first black woman, first all that shit.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of firsts.
He got to return it back to. He got to return it back.
Yeah.
He got to return it back to us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The black vote is important, like we've already talked about.
Shit, the black
before.
vote is how he turned up.
That's what I'm saying.
South Carolina was the turning point for him, and then it just took off for Biden. Man.
It works for him, so it's like, hey man, don't go against what's been helping you.
Yeah, right.
Go against
don't
the
bite
engine,
the hand
man.
that's been feeding your ass.
Exactly. So it's like, hey, brother, put you in there. Now you got to return the favor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's old folks and black people that vote for for Biden.
Exactly.
And Bernie's got young folks and
Us young people love him.
Latinos.
crazy.
Yeah.
The youngest people love the oldest guy because it's interesting.
Yeah.
But he just speaks more in tune to what we want as the youth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely helps. But I'm interested in seeing how this continues to play out with everything, because like you said, as we're in a crisis, things are only going to get worse. So because of that, now this is when everybody's true colors are going to start to show.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's really all about people. This is when the public turns to a leader in its most dying times. As we look at our leadership, we look up. We're like, what are we going to do? How are we going to get out of this? And it's like whoever has the best answers and the best solutions and acts the quickest. Those are usually going to be the ones that the people are going to go ahead and surround and support. So it's going to be nice to see how this plays out here in the next few months, man.
It's gonna be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I wonder how this whole. I mean, it's funny. 8 years ago. No, what are we in 2020? 12 years ago. The presidential election was right after a crisis. You know what I'm saying? And Obama had to come in and clean everything up and take us onto this ascension that we've been on. And then when Trump came in, he had put the NOS button on a lot of things by greenlighting a lot of shit for the people on the right and a lot of the business owners. So they took advantage of it over the last few years, and the market did a crazy ass tilt up. But that's anybody who knows market fundamentals knows that that's not necessarily a good thing, because what rises fast falls fast, and that's what we've been experiencing over the last 3 days, right? Over the last 4 or 5 days, really. And so I'm interested to see how this works going forward, because as I mentioned before on this show and on previous podcasts that we had, the bubble is bound to burst. This is just the beginning. I actually think it's going to get a lot worse.
Yeah, it's going to get worse.
It has to, right? Because we're just in the first phase, which is just the psychological phase. And then there's going to be the actual business aspect of this, right? How is it going to work in regards to the fact that you or us as a populace, if we stop spending, companies stop winning. If companies let me not use a general term like winning, profiting, right? The market is all the stock market is projection on the future of a particular company. So if you believe in the future of that company, you buy stock in that company. And if you believe in the growth of that company, then, that really dictates how long you hold that stock, right? And so when shit starts coming downward, that's the reason why it goes downward so fast, is because people start selling. And when you have a lot of people selling and not a lot of people buying, it creates that downward spiral, because the price keeps dropping until people start buying it. And if people ain't buying it, it just drops. And then as soon as people start buying it, it starts evening out. And then people sell, and then it goes drop. And it that's how the market works. The same way going up. So what happens is you get all these late people coming into the market. Let's say 3 months ago, they're like, man, I've been itching to get this Amazon stock, and they buy that shit at fucking $2,000. Well, depending on how much they bought, either way, they lost money, because it ain't $2,000 no more. Apple ain't what it was no more. Nothing is where it was last week. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so that perpetual drop-off is just going to continue to happen whenever these companies start putting in their quarterly results and they ain't making no money, or nowhere near as much money as they projected to last quarter. It's just going to be perpetual. And then you're going to have these other institutions that can't pay off their debt. And been calling this shit out. That is what's next. To be fair, a company like Amazon is actually going to eventually, when all the dust settles, is going to fucking be enormous, because everything else is about to fall out. Everything else is gonna die, like the storefronts, all this shit, and it's gonna suck. Small businesses are all gonna die, because they can't. A small business can't survive being closed for 3-4 months at a time, like a huge business can.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like a huge company like a Walmart, they can take all the hits. Their stocks can plunge. Who gives a fuck, right? Because they got a war chest behind them, and when the dust settles, they're gonna open right back up. They're gonna come right back into business, even if all the prices fall or whatever. They're the behemoth. They'll
bounce back.
They're gonna sell shit. The small business, the one that has that single owner who's, put their life savings into that business, and now they've got to shut their doors. That business creates the residual income that they use to pay for their livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Or even if they've got a little retirement, or they got a little money set up, for them to come back and open up their business is going to take money. It's going to take effort. It's going to take a consumer base, because now people have to come back out of the shell and be willing to spend their money. And for people to spend their money, they got to have money. For people to have money, they got to have jobs, in which a lot of them would have lost in this shit. So it's like a perpetual thing going backwards that we're just at the beginning of. Just at the beginning. So, not to fucking scare people, but it's about to get ugly. It's about to get ugly, and it's like a cyclical thing, because when it gets ugly on the spending side, it gets ugly on the market, and when it gets ugly on the market, it gets ugly with jobs, and when it gets ugly with jobs, it gets ugly with spending. You know what I'm saying? And then it comes to
ripple
a point.
Effects.
There's this butterfly effect, this ripple effect, and then that's when big government comes in and they say, all right, well, we need a lot more control. We're gonna do a lot of money, blah 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 blah, but in return, we're gonna have to give up some of our freedoms. We're gonna have to give up a lot of, and this is what scares Republicans, but you motherfuckers are the reason why we in this shit. So
so we all know. So for all you folks out there, all my villagers, make sure you got everything situated. Make sure you got your finances squared away. If you're going through some hardships, if you got any family dealing with this virus personally, or if you are dealing with this virus, we wish you nothing but a healthy and speedy recovery. We pray for all of you who are going through any hardships with your work being stopped. If you are a business owner, or you are work for a company or a small business that has shut down, and you aren't able to make an income currently, we hope the best for you guys. And if there's anything we can do to kind of help on our part to, I ain't saying we got the money to send you a stimulus package, but
at least make you laugh.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you want to talk about it? You want to fuss, cuss, discuss? Holla at your boys,
if you got some valuable information that you feel could be helpful, or you got a cause. I know some people are reaching out. I need to follow back up with thinking like, hey, maybe we can come together as a community and figure out what we can do to help our elderly who may be suffering from this or stuff like that. I mean, anything that we can do, we got to start thinking more communally. And it's funny because there's always something like this that makes people feel like more human. Yeah. You know what I mean? like that's the shit that actually really pisses me off, especially in this country. Is like we get so caught up, and we're kind of bred and groomed to be extremely selfish as a society. You know what I mean? Like you are educated and told like get out, get a job, buy a house, and build up your own war chest, your own retirement, get a wife, have some kids, you know. But then it's never the idea of like these communal aspects, especially like in our culture that we've been taught or at least experienced or seen through our parents and through our elders. It just trips me out to realize how much that shit doesn't exist. And then you kind of think about it, it kind of makes sense that something like this would happen, because the world or the earth itself as a organism, right? The earth, the planet is a living, moving, breathing thing. And it was only a matter of time how shittily we've treated the earth, that the earth itself produces some shit that strikes back, you know, not on no vengeful shit, but on some like the natural cycle of life. Like it only makes sense that we, with all the things that we're doing and putting out into the earth, that naturally there's going to be an evolution in animals and in bacteria and in viruses and stuff that we don't know how to handle, because the shit always comes full circle. The water's fucked up, the air's fucked up. But
this has been happening for centuries. Diseases always happen.
Yeah.
Plagues, flus, viruses, the whole nine. It's a reoccurring thing. Yeah. It's just being properly prepared to fight it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got the technology now. It just takes a while. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah.
Luckily, this, again, not to beat a dead horse, man. Like even when it comes to these kind of viruses, like you say, taking the simple precautions, man, just to kind of prevent the spread of it is just the basic necessities people just need to continue doing.
Right.
But the problem is people are stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you said, that's why we've been damaging the world. We just gonna continue to do stupid shit. We're people.
Yeah.
You know, I've been watching this show called Altered Carbon, right? And I'm pretty sure everybody's been watching a bunch of something.
Yeah, lately,
you know what I mean?
Right?
So
yeah.
if you need some options and suggestions of what you should binge watch, holla at me. I got plenty of suggestions. But yeah, it's like it was, you know, there's it's like a futuristic show, and then there's artificial intelligence speaking to each other, talking about there's nothing we can do to try to save humans. At the end of the day, humans are their biggest destructive forces amongst each other. They kill each other. They do all of these things to each other. And essentially, it continues to happen. It's an endless cycle. It's like, is it going to ever change? Me personally, no, I don't think so. I don't ever think so. Hell, because I'm one of those people who looks back in history too.
Yeah.
I look at where in different time frames in the world, and it's always been the same thing. It's just history doesn't, like Mark Twain said, history doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So that's why I'm like, hey, this is about to be a bunch of cat, rat, bat, a bunch of rhyming going on. Okay.
Wow, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
The cat, rat, bat.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Aha.
Because that's where all this shit came from. Motherfuckers eating this nasty ass shit.
The coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
The coronavirus. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's all I got on that subject, man.
Yeah. What you gonna do with this whole shit? What's your plans, bro?
What you mean with the quarantine? Shit, man.
If we even get it.
If we happen to shut down work and I get to stay home for the next 2 weeks, oh man, I'm about to be big chilling. I'm about to be watching a lot of shows. I try to get creative. Try to start making my own shit at this point. Hopefully, focusing on my own aspirations, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would advise most people to do: start focusing on doing things you like and want to accomplish outside of whatever your job is.
Big
so
facts.
Use that time wisely, and really, I really want to emphasize that. So that's a big thing. Unfortunately, we still going to work, but for those who get to sit at home all day, for all you teachers and everything, focus on whatever side aspirations you have.
Yeah, I mean, shit, not just teachers, anybody, right?
Yeah,
If you are someone who's ever thought or considered possibly doing something else with your life, or not even something else, you've had this thing that you've always wanted to do with your life, and then you doubted yourself, or you said, oh, I don't have the time, or it takes all this or that. Wow, here comes the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to work for a little while now. It's about time to tap in and see, like, explore what exactly it does take. Take the first steps, download that software, or look up those YouTube videos, or whatever it is that could possibly lead you to, or study for that test. You know, for me, I'm probably gonna open up my LSAT book a lot of bit, and possibly apply around and see, you know, what I could be doing better, you know, with my time. Cause that was kind of what I was getting at before. Is like how things come full circle. So things like this, the crazy deaths that we've had going on lately, all of it for me personally, it's just like, it makes you think like, damn, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, what am I doing with my time? You know what I'm saying? Like, not to get super like reflective, but just makes you consider like, man, this life thing is like, it's short, man, and it's super unpredictable. So let's spend it doing what we want to do and loving the people that we have around us, and just not fighting or fussing over no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Especially within yourself, because that's where the majority of the bullshit's at, right? And to that note, I did went out and get myself a new whip, because I heard that Corona was coming. So I got that Civic Si, boy. I'm out here. Bro, fuck it.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, man. You know, my payments didn't change much, and I got me something that fits me. You know, the other car's a little big. It was nice, but it was a little big. Now so I got me a little Batmobile, a little Blackmobile. That's what I call it. I'm about to get some custom plates. I'm going to put Blackmobile on the back. I'm going to try my best. I don't know how I'm going to do it. BL, K, MO, MBL, something like that.
Hopefully it ain't taken.
Yeah, it can't be, bro. I'm in Texas. Right? Ain't nobody else got no Blackmobile.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I've seen a lot of Blackmobiles around here.
For real? I'm gonna try to adjust the words.
You just gotta adjust it, yeah. Once you play with the words, you can figure it out.
Yeah, man. But that shit nice, man. I'm excited about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but
hey, man, we're gonna do some donuts one of these days.
Yeah, man. If I don't stall out at the light, that's been my only thing, is because it's a manual. It's like I know how to drive a manual, but when I be trying to come out, because I'm used to just like when that light turn green, I'm whop. Yeah. Even in like my automatic, but now it's like a little more different, having to like come off the clutch and shit. My stupid ass be stalling sometimes. But hey, man, I'm gonna get right.
Yeah, you figured it out, shit.
I figured it out. I'm moving around now, shit. But man, just the same shit I say all the time to everybody, man. Love yourself, love your neighbor, and do right, man, and just live your life to the best that you can. There's a lot of other shit that's gone on in the world, but I'm glad we took the time just to talk about Corona, because we've been joking about it, but obviously it's pretty serious. I don't believe the mania is necessary behind it. I think that the health precautions are necessary, though, and it's good that people are learning how to fucking wash their hands now and shit, which should have been standard to life. But yeah, man, that's where we at with it. And
yes, sir.
And we'll be back shortly to talk to people about, you know, hopefully shit that's better than the coronavirus, right? But, you know,
probably not.
Yeah, as from the way it's looking, we're gonna be dealing with this shit for a little while.
Yeah. So see you next week.
Yeah.
Coronavirus.
The villagers.